everyone, Edna Kimble, Edna Sells. Welcome to today's episode of How to Real Estate, where we have a community leader here with us, Sharon Ballew. Sharon, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I'm a huge fan of the organization that you basically run here in the Cherokee County or Tahlequah?
Cherokee County.
Cherokee County, that's what I thought. The Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
Okay, so give us a little bit of the background before the Boys and Girls Club of Sharon.
Of
you,
okay.
yes.
I am an educator, so I've been in education since right before he was born.
Okay.
So 43 years in education, and I started out. I've been at Tinkeller for over 30 years, and in 2000 and no, I'll back that up. In like 1996, we received the first 21st Century Grant that was funded for after-school programs, excuse me, through the federal government.
Okay.
And then I heard about Boys and Girls Club, and so I actually got on the board. So I served on the board for 19 years.
Oh my goodness.
And decided to retire in 2019, and we were looking for a CEO, and I decided that I would try it. So
that is fantastic. So did you, by being on the board, you kind of brought it to our community?
Well, actually, it was already here. It
Okay.
started in Boys and Girls Club started in 1996, and so there was a
Been
group.
here a whole year.
There was a group of community members who started it. Doris Hines
Oh.
was one of the founding members. Alan Chapman, Bobby Webb, and Charlie Soap. There were a few others that started it, yes. And so when they began, it began with Tahlequah schools.
Yes.
And they started at one of the elementaries and then kind of expanded. And so I was like, I need that at Tinkeller because our grant was just about gone.
Okay.
And so then it expanded from there and went into, we have 13 sites.
I was just going to ask.
Mhm.
So 13 different schools.
They are all in the schools, yes.
Wow.
So that's unique with Boys and Girls Clubs. Most
Oh.
boys, and that's what people don't understand in Cherokee County also.
Yeah, because that's the only way I know of
That's-
Boys and Girls
That's
Club.
the way, most, unless they move in from another location,
Okay.
they are mostly standalones. So
Oh.
students or youth are bused from the school to a site. And yeah, in a standalone site.
Okay.
So we're pretty unique in that, although in the last maybe 10 to 12 years, school sites have grown tremendously through Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And so now we're not as unique as we used to be.
Yeah.
But yes, we're in the 13 locations throughout Cherokee County.
And then for those that are not familiar with the Boys and Girls Club, I love it. I was very fortunate that my children were able to go to Woodall, to the
Uh-huh.
Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
But kind of explain to everyone what that entails.
So Boys and Girls Club is a before and after school program. And because we are located in the schools, that's pretty much where we are. We do a little bit before school and then after school and summer program, and which normally run through the month of June. So once school's out, have a week or two of planning time, and then they run in the summer for 4 weeks.
Okay. And I loved it because, being in real estate, my hours were not real solid.
Right.
And so if I had an early morning appointment, I could drop the kids off a little earlier than the normal school hours.
Yes.
And then there was an after school, and I loved it because they would also get them started on the homework and
So the after school program normally runs when school's out. Most people are 3:15 to 3:30 until 5:30. And what our first hour is around the nation is called Power Hour. So that's your homework help time.
Okay.
They do what they call Project Learn, which could be any kind of educational activity. And for us, it's usually homework help, any kind of project-based learning that they might want to do. And then second hour are your enrichment activities. And so every site is different.
Yeah,
Everybody
sure.
has different enrichment activities that they do. And but of course, that's what the kids love the most. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where our robotics comes in at a lot of the sites. Bike club, which they really like.
And that was the bike club,
Bike.
not fight
No.
club. Okay.
Bike. which actually started in Tahlequah, but it has expanded into a few of our other sites.
Oh, wow.
Because what they started here, it's a little different at our rural schools because of having a place to actually ride a bike.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yes.
Oh,
And some of the other activities that they do, we have crochet, we have scrapbooking, um, STEM, a lot of STEM activities,
Yes.
and then again, you're in the recreational activities.
Okay, and explain to them what STEM is.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and they now have what they call STEAM, so they include the arts.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
And another thing that most of our sites do, of course, is Cherokee culture and enrichment, history, language. We have several sites that are involved in the Cherokee Challenge Bowls or the Language Bowls. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have several of those.
That is amazing.
Now
that my grandchildren are able to utilize, the youngest one actually gets mad if we try to pick her up early.
A lot.
She literally thinks that's part of school, and she doesn't want to leave and miss it. Yeah.
That definitely happens with the younger ones.
Yeah, I love that. I want them to love school,
right.
So that is so important.
And it actually happens with maybe our upper elementary and some middle school because they'll be involved in an activity and they do not want to leave early.
Yeah.
Happens
But
a lot.
it's such a great tool to introduce something totally new into their life, even like the crocheting aspect.
Yes.
Just what is it and being aware of it. It might not be something that they fall in love with, but it's just another level of education and being aware, because we do understand that in the rural areas, they may not have access to as many different projects or options.
Right.
So I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sewing is big. We have
really.
We have some sites who do sewing. We have one in particular, and because it was my site, so I know this. We had when we introduced sewing the first year, we had one of our girls who asked for a sewing machine for Christmas because she was introduced to that at Boys and Girls Club.
Wow. And I feel like that's a skill set that we're kind of losing.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes, I would be hard pressed to remember what I learned all those years ago. So
right.
And then it's kind of full circle, because the school doesn't actually pay. That money comes out of a different account, right?
So it's kind of convoluted just a little bit. I always say when we're in the schools, we have some pros and cons, but one of the biggest pro is that we're in the schools.
Yes.
And so we have that collaboration with the schools. Boys and Girls Club of America does not actually give us money.
Okay.
And so for us to actually run our programs. The schools do pay for some staff, and we pay for some staff. So it all depends on the site, how many kids that they have staying, how many staff that they need, what the school can do, what we can do.
Okay.
Our money is funded through, mostly through our state, with some funding through our state alliance, who does our lobbying. So we have some DHS money, some DMH money, but we also have OJJDP money for mentoring at all of our sites. And so that's one pot of federal money that we do get. And we don't charge. That's one of the things that the founders and all through the years, our board has always said we don't want to charge if we don't have to. And so we don't.
Which is literally, that is so amazing.
It is.
To have that option of the child staying at the school or riding the bus home and letting themselves in,
Right.
I grew up latchkey kids.
Right.
And this age group doesn't know what that term means,
No,
which I think is beautiful because of programs like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that would be something that, for your listeners, if anybody wanted to contribute, they can always go to our website, and we have a donate button, and we would be happy to let people donate.
I love that. And you're a 503c.
We are a
Yeah,
nonprofit,
so
yes.
that means it's tax deductible. So if you want to give back to something that really does empower a community and expose the children to all of these really fun new things. I have to tell you, the idea of the bus taking your children off site, that would give me heart palpitations. I didn't even know that was a thing. So fortunately for us, we've been spoiled because it's the same site, and we know exactly where they're at when we drop them off and when we pick them up.
Right.
So yeah.
And we get that question a lot through Boys and Girls Club of America on different reports on transportation and that sort of thing. Well, we don't have to provide transportation, at least to get to a site.
Yeah.
And now some sites provide transportation home, some don't. It just depends on what they can afford to do.
Okay.
And Tahlequah does, so that is good for Tahlequah schools.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
They do provide transportation home. The rest of our sites are rural, and so it makes it a little bit more
really
difficult
spread
to.
out. Yeah.
Yes.
But
to
because
provide
they're so rural,
transportation.
it's really almost impossible to get off work at 5 and pick your child up at 5.
Right.
I mean, it is impossible.
It is
Not
impossible.
really, almost, but it is. So having until 5:30 is a big deal.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is,
So.
and that I think 5:30 is a good time
Mhm.
for most people to be able to get wherever they need to go. That where we have a Boys and Girls Club, yes.
Absolutely. Now, one of our team members had previously worked at a program. How does that work? Because she was really young at the time, Addison Allison, and at the time Addison Berry. Is that a volunteer situation or?
It is not. I mean, we pay.
Okay.
So we do not hire anyone below 16. So they
Okay.
have to be 16.
Okay.
We have preferred to keep it that way, and 16 and above.
Okay.
Again, it depends on where they are hired into.
Sure.
So as a high school student, if they work with a Boys and Girls Club outside of Tahlequah schools, then normally Boys and Girls Club pays for that person. Tahlequah has a work plan for them for high school students so that they actually pay their high school students.
Oh, that's great.
And then college students and a lot of our staff are school staff.
Yes.
So whether probably, I'm going to say probably 80% of the staff would be school staff.
But I love that because so many times on a teacher's salary, they have to go get another job after 3 o'clock, So if they're able to go ahead and continue that
Yes.
and make a little bit more. Also for Addison, what she loved about it was she was thinking about going into teaching.
Mhm.
And, so if that's something you're thinking about, I think that that's a great way to see if is it a good fit for you or not.
Definitely.
Yeah, so.
And for us, any college student that might be going into education, it's a great training, on the job training for them.
Yeah.
If they are planning on doing that. But they would just most students or volunteers make application through our office.
Okay.
And the application is online, so they can do that. And we just, if somebody needs somebody, we just send them that way. And a lot of times, we all know people, we know
Yes.
kids
Yeah.
that have been our kids, and so we might hire them as workers, youth workers also.
Yeah, but I think again that just kind of plays back into just the safety of it.
It does.
And knowing, it takes a village.
Right. So you also have another person here who actually worked for Boys and Girls Club too,
Oh, really?
and is now our board member.
And
So,
who is that?
Nakona.
Really? Oh my gosh,
So
that's amazing.
she's on our board.
Well, she's a fantastic one.
Yes, she is.
And I will tell you, the alumni for the Boys and Girls Club is so impressive. I just did a quick little research, and it was just too overwhelming. I was like, okay, well, never mind. I thought, well, I'll pick the top few. But when I saw Denzel Washington, I was like, okay, well, that's all we need to know. It was good enough for Denzel. So
The alumni,
and Nakona. So there you
yeah.
go.
The alumni for Boys and Girls Club of America is very impressive.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
And because it started over 130 years ago as a boys club.
Okay.
It only became Boys and Girls Club in the 60s.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow. Well, if it's good enough for the boys, it's good enough for the girls.
Exactly.
So, yes. So tell me again, your position is the
I'm the CEO.
CEO.
Chief
Okay.
Executive Officer.
Okay,
Yes.
I love that. I love that. And so what's what is the need right now for the Boys and Girls Club?
Um, I think probably we're maybe volunteers,
Okay.
not people, maybe somebody who has a specialty of some sort. And I say that because last year, 9 of our 13 units had 21st century grants. And that was money that's funded through the state through our state for after school programs. And 5 of those sites ended and they were not refunded. And so people that might have a specialty in, let's just say, crocheting, and they would like to go volunteer 1 day a week and do a crochet class with the kids, that would be great too. We do have to do a background check on all
Please.
volunteers. Definitely.
Yeah.
On all volunteers, but anybody that might have a specialty, that would be a wonderful thing for them to do. They could just contact our office.
Okay.
And then I would say, like I just kind of plugged, any kind of
Monetary.
that anybody would like to donate, it would be greatly appreciated, of course.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the monetary donation, even if you feel like your donation might be too small, there's really no such thing as too small.
No,
So
there's
if
not.
you've got $10, then that could at least cover snacks, you know, for a couple of students in an afternoon. So don't be afraid of it being too small, and there's absolutely no concern about it being too large.
No. Never. We have grown, and I think that's the thing. We have over 5,000 members, but we serve around 1,600 a day. And so when you think about serving that many youth, even though they're spread out, of course, within the 13 sites, but that's a large number of youth to serve every day. And yes, they do get a snack. Most of the time that is through the school lunch program. So we don't have to fund that, but we like to be able to add to that if we can.
Okay.
And the majority of our funding, of course, is through staff.
Yeah.
In order to, but when you have I'll just throw Heritage, they are serving over 200 kids a day.
Oh, wow.
And that takes a lot of staff because there is a ratio that we try to live by.
Right,
So.
right. Well, what I think I'd like to do, I would like to go ahead and just throw out a little bit of a challenge. When my children were able to go, financially, it was just a game changer for me. It helped so much. I couldn't afford to have the babysitter, but I couldn't afford to not work late. You know, that kind of combination. So I'm going to make a donation based upon the fact that you helped me all those years ago. And for those individuals of you who have actually utilized it in the past, and it helped you, if you can now, I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and make a donation and just kind of pay it forward for what we were able to receive from that, because it really is very, very helpful for these parents who are running in every direction. So if it's something in your comfort zone, please, we'll have the link below for the donation. It's just an easy button to donate, and then we'll also have your information in case they have a specialty skill set.
Yes.
Because again, maybe you're not quite able to do the donation yet, but you have some free time. I'm thinking maybe somebody who's retired and is on a little bit of a fixed income, but at some point, you know, you've learned a skill set that you feel would be useful, and they can reach out to you also.
Right.
So
they can.
I like that. And of course, it's a 503c, so everything that you donate would be tax deductible.
Yes.
So I love that. Okay, well, so now we are a real estate show. So we do have to bring it back to real estate. But part of the reason we have community leaders in is that we believe that to keep a community housing prices solid, keep the community solid, we've got to have those strong community funded things. So that's why we bring you in. But what we like to do is to ask, she's like, where is this going? We like to ask every guest on the show, if money were no object and you were going to purchase your dream home, what 3 things would that dream home have to have?
A pool.
Oh, okay. The swimming pool. You're a pool gal.
Definitely a pool.
Okay. That was no hesitation with the pool.
No.
That's what I
I have to have a garage, a pool, and enough room for my grandchildren.
Oh, and
as
how
long
many
as
grandchildren?
I have 4.
4. Okay, awesome, awesome. So a great play space, safe space for those
Yes,
kiddos.
yes.
I love that. Well, that's not nothing crazy. I love
No.
that, and the pool would draw them over, right? Anything
It
to lure
would.
them to the house. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we like to just kind of keep it real estate concentric by asking that question, and then I always like to follow up: lake or river?
Oh, lake.
Lake, again, no hesitation.
Definitely.
Okay.
No.
So you're a water girl for
Yes.
sure. Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. Well, and it's part of why Cherokee County is so amazing is because
It
we
is.
do have the lake and the river, if that's more of your jam. So love that. Well, we are so excited that the Boys and Girls Club is here and that you were able to come in today and kind of give us all of the details. We're going to put your information below so that they can reach out to the organization, maybe not your exact information, but the details. And as always, guys, please like, follow, and share, because if you're not able to donate, maybe someone that you share it with or sees it would be able to jump in and help out also. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the podcast or you know someone that you would like to see on, please reach out. We'd be happy to help with that also. And as always, thank you for watching.